All right, I'll get started. Welcome everyone to today's protocol meeting, where we'll be discussing some recent changes to two core advancement proposals, CAP 63 and 67. So first, I'll start with several CAP 67 updates. The first one is that we emit the set authorized event to give the unified events parity with the Stellar Asset contract. There's also a change to specify that the inflation operation will emit a mint event for each payout. There's also a change to prohibit MUX source accounts and memos for Sorbonne transactions. And this is because the MUX source, we're prohibiting the MUX source to avoid any confusion on events. And that, along with the memos, are not signed in the auth payload. So we're just prohibiting them altogether. There's also a change to have all diagnostics live in the single transaction level vector and remove the operation specific diagnostics vector that CAP 67 originally implemented. And we also added the MUX account support Sorbonne that we discussed at the last protocol meeting. And all these changes can be in the CAP 67 link. It can be seen in the CAP 67 link that I shared below. And the last change is that it's not a change, it's more of a detail that we will discuss in this meeting, which is that there's no specific event for fee refunds. And it's conflated into the fee event. And this is related to the CAP 63 change that I'll discuss in a moment. But before I move on, does anyone have any questions? All right. Then I'll move on to the CAP 63 change. All right, just one sec. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Yeah, then I'll move on to the CAP 63 change, which is a change to apply the fee refunds after all Sorbonne transactions have been applied instead of after each transaction like it is today. This was done because the fee source is not part of the footprint. And this is an issue because it's possible for that same account to be used in a Sorbonne transaction. So if you apply transactions in parallel, you would need to make sure that the fee source doesn't conflict, the refund doesn't conflict with a different Sorbonne transaction that modifies the native XLM balance of an account. So we had two options here. You would either need to make the fee source an implicit number of the read-write footprint, or we just change how refunds are applied and apply them after all Sorbonne transactions have been applied. And we decided that applying the refunds later made more sense. That's what CAP 63 went with. And the relevant CAP 67 topic to discuss here is that the refund is conflated into the fee event. So this is fine if the goal is to just track balances at the end of every ledger. But if a user wants to infer anything related to balances, interledger or intertransaction, then this can be an issue. Because imagine that you have a contract, this is an example Lee mentioned, you have a contract where the contract does an action based off an account falling below a certain balance because the fee was charged to that account. But if we emit the fee as the fee plus refund, when you look at the events later on, like for example, if you're doing an audit, you will never see that the account dropped below that balance that the account triggered on, and that the contract triggered on. So this is an edge case, and I'm not sure if this, like that's something we can discuss, is if this use case actually matters. But the alternative would be to maybe emit a separate refund event. But we actually open up another can of worms here, which is that if the fees are applied, all fees are applied are charged before the operations are applied. So you need to convey the information about the order in which the balances change in the events. And currently the events are just a transaction level vector and an operation level vector. But we might need to make some changes where the structure that's in TX meta, which is you have everything that happens pre-apply, everything that happens during transaction application, and everything that happens post-transaction application. We would need to convey that same information in the events, and if we do need this granularity, that might be the path to take. So yeah, does anyone have any questions about this or have any input?
See, what I wanted to tell is that like we don't have many people today, um,
Yeah,
and we also don't have Lee, and we don't have Nika and others. So I mean, we definitely could listen to what folks who are present think, but uh, yeah, sounds like an awful justification. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm inclined myself to just not do anything and just clarify in the cap that events should not be used for modeling the exact balances during the ledger application time because fees are in general charged at different points in time. Um, okay, here's Nicholas. I don't know. So yeah, it seems to me like that's the thing to do here. And if someone has objections, we can discuss them, I think. Um, Yeah, because otherwise we would introduce a lot of structural complexity in meta, sorry, not meta in events, and we wanted events to be rather simple to consume, and hopefully the consumers of events should not worry about this very granular operation. But yeah, that's my take on this. Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Like the use cases we've discussed in relation to CAP 67 tend to be for just tracking balances, which seems like tracking updating your balance at the end of every ledger is what this was designed for. And if you want to use this for if you want to do anything related to like audits or anything more granular, I feel like TX Meta should be enough. And making this system more complicated to handle those use cases doesn't seem to be the right move here. So I agree with you.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the bottom line here is that like even those effects are when the ledger has been applied, you still get the correct values per transaction. Because it's applied at different points in time, but then when you're looking at transaction events, you will still get the correct key charge that corresponds to what happened in reality. You just don't know the exact details when exactly has been charged. So hopefully for most intents purposes, it should be sufficient. So yeah, I guess we can write this up and update the cap and
Yeah, yeah, we can update the cap and respond to that thread.
yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else have any input? We have a small group today. So unless anyone has any other questions, we can probably call it early. All right. Well, it was a quick one today. Thank you for joining. And yeah, thanks, Nima, for your input. All right. See ya.